When installing a 240 volts single-phase portable irrigation pump near a body of water, several electrical code requirements must be carefully considered to ensure safety and compliance. Let's break down the key aspects based on the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 682, which covers electrical installations near natural and artificially made bodies of water. Firstly, let's discuss GFCI protection. Article 682.15 mandates GFCI protection for 125 volts single-phase, 15 amps and 20 amps receptacles situated within 6 feet of the water's edge. However, in this specific scenario, the receptacle being installed is rated for 240 volts and 30 amps. Therefore, the GFCI protection requirement stipulated in Article 682.15 does not directly apply to the 240 volts, 30 amps receptacle. Secondly, let's consider insulated equipment grounding conductors or EGC. Article 682.17 necessitates the use of insulated equipment grounding conductors for all wiring within 6 feet of the water's edge. This provision includes the EGC serving the 240 volts receptacle. The purpose of an insulated EGC is to provide an additional layer of protection against ground faults, particularly in potentially corrosive environments near water. Thirdly, let's discuss receptacle height. Article 682.13 addresses the mounting height of receptacles in damp or wet locations. It dictates that receptacles in such environments must be installed at a minimum of 12 inches above the floor or ground level. In the case of the portable irrigation pump receptacle, it must be mounted at least 12 inches above the ground level to mitigate the risk of water intrusion and potential electrical hazards. In addition to these specific code requirements, there are some additional considerations to keep in mind. The receptacle should be positioned in a readily accessible and visible location, while also being strategically placed to avoid submersion during potential flood events. Installing the pump in a manner that prevents water from entering the motor is crucial for prolonging its lifespan and preventing electrical failures. Utilizing a ground fault circuit interrupter protected extension cord between the pump and the receptacle can provide an extra layer of safety for personnel operating the equipment. Lastly, it's always prudent to consult with a licensed electrician who possesses expertise in local electrical codes and regulations. A qualified electrician can assess the specific site conditions, provide tailored recommendations, and ensure that the installation complies with all applicable requirements. Let's delve deeper into each of these aspects. Regarding GFCI protection, while Article 682.15 doesn't mandate it for 240 volts, 30 amps receptacle, it's essential to understand the underlying principles of GFCI protection and its potential benefits. A GFCI device monitors the current flowing into and out of a circuit. If it detects an imbalance, indicating that current is leaking to ground, it quickly interrupts the power supply, typically within milliseconds. This rapid interruption can prevent electrical shock injuries. Even though the code may not explicitly require GFCI protection for the 240 volts receptacle, incorporating a GFCI device such as a GFCI circuit breaker in the circuit could still enhance safety, particularly in a damp or wet environment. Such a measure can protect against ground faults that might occur in the pump motor or the wiring connecting the pump to the receptacle. When selecting a GFCI device, it's imperative to choose one that is appropriately rated for the voltage and current requirements of the circuit. It's also crucial to ensure that the GFCI device is listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, to verify its safety and performance. Now let's explore the use of insulated equipment grounding conductors or EGC in more detail. As previously mentioned, Article 682.17 mandates insulated EGC for wiring within 6 feet of the water's edge. The purpose of an insulated EGC is to provide a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source in the event of a ground fault. This low impedance path facilitates the rapid tripping of the circuit breaker or fuse, disconnecting the power supply and minimizing the risk of electrical shock or fire. The insulation on the EGC serves to protect the conductor from corrosion and physical damage, which are more likely to occur in damp or wet environments. It also helps to prevent the EGC from coming into contact with other conductive surfaces, which could create unintended ground paths. When installing an insulated EGC, it's crucial to ensure that the insulation is intact and free from any cuts, abrasions, or other damage. The EGC should be properly sized in accordance with the National Electrical Code Table 250.122, based on the rating of the overcurrent protective device protecting the circuit. It's also essential to ensure that the EGC is securely connected to all metal enclosures, equipment, and devices in the circuit to provide a continuous and reliable ground path. Let's move on to receptacle height considerations. Article 682.13 stipulates that receptacles in damp or wet locations must be mounted at least 12 inches above the floor or ground level. This requirement is intended to prevent water from entering the receptacle and creating a shock hazard. In the context of the portable irrigation pump installation, the receptacle should be mounted at least 12 inches above the ground level, taking into account potential variations in ground elevation due to flooding or other factors. The receptacle should be securely mounted to a stable surface, such as a post or wall, using appropriate hardware. It's also advisable to use a weatherproof receptacle cover to provide additional protection against moisture and debris. The receptacle cover should be designed to protect the receptacle when it is not in use, as well as when an extension cord is plugged into it. In addition to these code requirements, there are several other best practices that should be followed when installing electrical equipment near water. All electrical connections should be made in accordance with the National Electrical Code Article 110.14, using approved connectors and methods. The connection should be tight and secure to prevent loose connections, which can cause overheating and electrical failures. All wiring should be properly supported and protected from physical damage. Wiring should be run in conduit or other approved raceways to protect it from abrasion, impact, and exposure to the elements. All metal enclosures and equipment should be properly grounded to provide a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source. Grounding electrodes should be installed in accordance with the National Electrical Code Article 250 Part Roman 3 and should be properly sized and connected to the grounding system. Warning signs should be posted in the vicinity of the electrical equipment to alert people to the potential hazards. The warning signs should be clearly visible and legible, and should include information about the voltage, amperage, and other relevant electrical characteristics of the equipment. Regular inspections and maintenance should be performed on the electrical equipment to ensure that it is in good working order. Any damaged or defective equipment should be repaired or replaced promptly. It's also important to educate users about the proper use and care of electrical equipment near water. Users should be instructed to never use electrical equipment in wet conditions, to always disconnect power before performing any maintenance or repairs, and to report any electrical hazards to a qualified electrician. The use of a float switch and holding pond to control the pump's operation introduces additional safety considerations. The float switch should be rated for the voltage and current requirements of the pump motor, and should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. The float switch should be located in a position where it will not be affected by debris or other obstructions. The wiring connecting the float switch to the pump motor should be properly supported and protected from physical damage. It's also advisable to use a control panel with overload protection for the pump motor. The control panel should be designed to automatically shut down the pump motor in the event of an overload, preventing damage to the motor and reducing the risk of electrical fire. The control panel should be located in a readily accessible location and should be clearly labeled with instructions for operation and maintenance. In summary, installing a 240-volt single-phase portable irrigation pump near a body of water requires careful consideration of several electrical code requirements and best practices. While Article 682.15 doesn't mandate GFCI protection for 240 volts receptacle, it's still a good idea to consider adding a GFCI device for extra safety. Article 682.17 requires the use of insulated EGC for wiring within 6 feet of the water's edge. Article 682.13 stipulates that receptacles in damp or wet locations must be mounted at least 12 inches above the floor or ground level. By following these guidelines and consulting with a qualified electrician, you can ensure that the installation is safe, code compliant, and reliable. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to leave it to the professionals. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper training and experience can result in serious injury or death. Furthermore, local codes and regulations may vary, so it's essential to consult with your local building department or electrical inspector to ensure that the installation complies with all applicable requirements. In addition to the technical aspects of the installation, it's also important to consider the environmental impact of the project. Take steps to minimize soil erosion and sedimentation during construction, and avoid disturbing sensitive habitats. Use environmentally friendly materials whenever possible, and dispose of waste properly. By following these guidelines, you can help to protect the environment and ensure that the project is sustainable. The information provided here is intended for general guidance only, and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or other professional before performing any electrical work. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure that your 240 volts pump installation is safe, code compliant, and environmentally responsible. Finally, remember that safety is always the top priority when working with electricity. Always take precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock, and never work on electrical equipment while it is energized. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to leave it to the professionals. Taking the time to plan and execute the installation properly will ensure that the irrigation system operates safely and reliably for many years to come. Consider that the location in Tampa, Florida, may have specific requirements related to saltwater or brackish water environments, which can accelerate corrosion. Using corrosion-resistant materials for all components, including the receptacle, wiring, and grounding hardware, is essential. Furthermore, Tampa's climate is prone to thunderstorms, which can cause power surges. Installing a surge protector at the receptacle can help to protect the pump motor from damage due to power surges. The surge protector should be rated for the voltage and current requirements of the circuit, and should be listed by a recognized testing laboratory. Be aware of local regulations regarding setbacks from the water's edge. These regulations may dictate how far back the receptacle must be located from the water's edge, and may also impose restrictions on the type of materials that can be used in the installation. Consult with your local building department or environmental agency to ensure that the installation complies with all applicable regulations. Remember to obtain all necessary permits before beginning any electrical work. Performing electrical work without the proper permits can result in fines and delays, and may also create safety hazards. Work with a licensed electrician who is familiar with the local permitting process to ensure that all necessary permits are obtained. In summary, a safe and code-compliant installation requires attention to detail and adherence to all applicable regulations. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals to ensure that the installation is performed correctly. A properly installed and maintained irrigation pump can provide years of reliable service while also protecting the environment and conserving water resources.